What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the ADV-R Build, where we're taking this Moto Morini X-Cape 650 and making it more like a rally bike. What we're doing in this episode is we're going up 2 teeth on the back sprocket to try to give this thing more pulling power through all the gears, and hopefully it doesn't raise the RPMs too much on the freeway. I don't think it will, because I've done it before and it's not really a huge deal, but it does make a big difference in how your bike runs and pulls, and it just really improves the pulling power of the bike. Now, if you didn't see the last video, episode 4, go check it out. We did a tuner on this thing from Rapid Bike, and that made a huge difference. I actually put a quick shifter on it too. And then the episode before that, we put on the X-Zan full exhaust, and that made a huge difference. 10 pounds lighter, looks great, sounds way better, runs way better. So we're jumping straight into this video. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with this gearing, and then I'm going to show you guys how to swap out your sprocket. Easy peasy. Let's ride. I like the dash on this thing, how it boots up. It's cool. So I just picked up the new graphics for this bike build. This bike's going to look totally different when I'm done with it. Over here at ZLT Graphics in Corona, California. If you want custom graphics, hit them up. They can do whatever you want. And I do want to thank Superlight Sprockets for sponsoring this episode. They hooked us up with a front and rear sprocket. The rear sprocket is metal. I chose metal for longer lifespan, so it's probably not going to be much lighter than the one I'm taking off, and it's black unlike the stock silver one, so it'll look much better on this black Ops X-Cape. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take off the stock sprocket and leave the stock chain on, swap it out and take the bike for a ride, and I'll let you know how it feels. Alright, let's do it. Alright guys, big moment of truth. Testing out the new sprocket, 2 teeth bigger on the back, 48 tooth. Like I said, I'm using the stock chain, stock length. So if you want to try this out, you do not need to buy another chain, but you need to take your chain adjuster bolts and the swing arm and screw them all the way in and get that axle as far forward as possible. And it just barely made it to where the chain was adjusted correctly. So here we go. We're going to give this thing a try. Now, I normally don't ride without a jacket on. You can see I got naked arms, but I'm just going to do a buzz around my work here. Well, I want to see how it pulls, like at cruising speeds, just riding around from light to light. And then I want to gauge the RPM at freeway speeds, 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, just like we did before. Okay. It definitely, at initial takeoff, letting the clutch out, I felt like the bike just pulled easier right away, rather than having that really tall stock gearing where you got to give it more throttle to get it to go. All right, so what I'm feeling, in the little bit I've ridden it, 2 blocks, is, I'm waiting here, it's not huge difference. Like, you're only talking about 2 teeth and a total of 48 teeth. So, you know, the percentage of change isn't vast, but I definitely like it better. Yeah, I feel more pull there. I'm just gonna have to give it a little more time to get a full feel for it, but I am most definitely feeling more pull, better torque, better pull from gear to gear. All right, let's do some speed runs, 70, 80, and 85 to gauge the RPM. 70 is at about 5 3/4. All right, so those are the RPMs, and from what I recall, the 85 mile an hour run stock was around 6,000 RPM, and that one right there was maybe 6,250. I mean, it's very close, almost not even noticeable. So to go up 2 teeth in the back and get a little more pulling power through all the gears and not really sacrificing much at freeway speeds is excellent. All right, guys, so going up 2 teeth on the back is a definite improvement. Highly recommend it. I'm very happy with it, but I really was expecting more of a difference, really wanting more of a difference, and so I had an easy solution. I went down 1 tooth on the countershaft sprocket, and going down 1 tooth on the countershaft is like going up another 2 to 3 teeth on the back. So that's a pretty radical shift, but it's super easy to change the countershaft sprocket. You can do it in about 5 minutes, and all you got to do is remove the nut from the countershaft sprocket, then take off your back wheel, get the chain really loose, take off your countershaft sprocket, put on the new one, and tighten it all down. And it probably took me about 5 minutes to do that. And I've been riding the bike around for a while with this new sprocket arrangement, and it's fantastic. It's got so much pulling power, you won't believe it. You can cruise around, like on these adventure bikes, I would say we normally ride around in the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 RPM area, just kind of cruising, and you can just open up the throttle, not even full throttle, half throttle, whatever, and it just pulls so much better. You don't have to downshift as much to get going, just crank open the throttle, and it moves, man. And what's awesome too is now I have more slack in the chain. Because I went down one tooth in the front, that loosened up the chain, so I no longer have the back wheel fully jammed forward in the swing arm to get the chain adjusted correctly. I was able to pull the wheel back a little bit and then adjust the chain. So that's a win. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up here and I'm going to give you guys some speed runs, show you what the RPM went up to at like 75, 80, and 85 miles an hour. I mean, obviously I went to a more aggressive gearing, so that's going to bring the RPMs up in every gear. I would say it feels halfway between an adventure bike gearing and a dirt bike gearing, kind of like right there in the middle. So much better than stock. Way funner to ride. Now, of course, this gearing is going to change your fuel mileage. You're going to lose some MPG, but it just depends on what's important to you. I'm willing to sacrifice some miles per gallon for a better performing bike. That's just me. Alright guys, so just to recap, to go 2 teeth up on the back, you're looking at about 250 more RPMs, and to go 1 tooth lower on the front, you're looking at about another 250 RPMs for that. So total of 500 RPM rise to go with the countershaft sprocket and the rear sprocket. The great thing about this is you can test it out and revert back to stock because you're not doing anything to the chain. I highly recommend starting with the 2 teeth on the back, and if you dig it, you dig it, and if you want to go a little more, do the 1 tooth on the front, and if you don't dig it, you can just pop it back off and you're back to the stock chain. So all good there. I do once again want to thank Superlight Sprockets for sponsoring this episode and kicking us down their fine product. Go check them out at the link in the description of this video. And I want to thank all the sponsors again of this entire build series. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, go check them out. We did a bunch of cool stuff to this bike, squeezed a bunch more power out of it. Anyways, that is a wrap. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Hit that notification bell so when more videos come out, you get notified. And I will see you guys in the next video.